Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast. My name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance evangelist for I Protect Insurance and Financial Services, based out of Huntsville, Alabama. And before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, parade first team All-American, Rivals 5-star recruit. He is a fantastic insurance agent and a great American. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
Great, Scott. How are you?
Best I've ever been. Most important podcast in the history of insurance is on right now. Insurance agents might want to turn the damn dial up on the old radio right now. If you are listening on iPods, is that what they're called? Them AirPods?
AirPods.
If you're listening on AirPods or your Samsung AirPods, need you to turn the television off. Need you to run your staff out of your office that's in there talking about Miss Jones' fucking homeowner's claim that water damage has damaged her, and she's mad because travelers are saying they're only going to pay $8,000, but her contractor said she's got $38,000 worth of damage, and she bought insurance from you, not travelers. She bought it from you, and you need to write her a check for $24,000 to get this shit handled. I need you to stop all that bullshit right now, okay? Need you to stop that. This is the most important podcast we've done in a long time. This podcast, remember, the three legs of this stool. We have fantastic agents on here. We have fantastic technologies on here that you need to know about. That's two legs of the stool. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a technology to talk about that you need to know about. And without further ado, I want to bring our guest on and give him the introduction that he's always deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, he is originally from Bayport, New York, and he currently resides in Beverly, Massachusetts. He is married to the beautiful Corey, and he's a graduate of Sacred Heart University with a degree in accounting. He jokingly once bogeyed hole number 17 at TPC Sawgrass. And by the way, from what I know about that hole, I think most like regular golfers like triple, quadruple bogey that.
Did you get the bag tag with your score on it?
Didn't, no.
So they do that now.
Yeah.
When you get into the clubhouse, they give you a metal bag tag with your score on the hole etched into the bag tag.
Missed that.
Let me finish. He's been an account executive at Oxford Millen Insurance Agency from 2014 to 2020. He's a software developer and was with Rethought Insurance from 2020 to 2022. Been a corporate development manager, lead solution engineer, and today he is the founder of Conduit. He is the founder, CEO of Conduit, and has over a decade of experience building insurance technology for agencies, MGAs, and carriers. The products he has contributed to include policy administration and underwriting platforms, as well as machine learning models used in rating and claims. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor today to introduce to you first-time guest on the IGP, Mr. Ryan Hughes. How are you, Ryan?
Doing well, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing the best, brother. Thank you so much for being on the show today. We've got a lot to talk about.
First, though, tell us about the bogey. How did you bogey? Did you hit it?
Right in the water.
You hit it in the water, and then you got up and down from the drop area.
Got up and down from the drop area.
That's the most impressive bogey. Like that's or not. I guess you wouldn't. You're gonna hit. Yeah, you got up and down from the drop area. Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, can I ask a question?
That's what sucks about a par 3. Because if you hit it in the water on a par 4, you can still make 4. If you hit it in the water on par 5, you can still make. You hit it in the water on par 3. At best, you're going to be bogey. You know. Anyway, okay.
Is the number 17? Because I'm a non-golfer, right? I don't play golf.
That's the island green.
I was going to say, isn't that the one that's you got to hit it over the water, and then the green is kind of floating out into the, and it's like a circle. Yeah.
They just played there this week.
Right.
Golly,
Matter of fact, shout out. So one of my one of my childhood friends, Colby Norman, started caddying for a guy on the mini tours a couple years ago, and the dude made it to the PGA Tour lo and behold, last year through the Corn Ferry Tour, which is their AAA, last year he watched the Players Championship, which is played at that course. He watched the Players Championship as a fan in the crowd because he lives there. This year he got in as an alternate and finished 6th.
Ooh, he made some money on that deal.
He made $867,000. And so Colby, my childhood friend's his caddy.
Oh, I'll be
and his dad and my dad were best friends, still are really good friends. But yeah, so they both got their first big check.
Hey, Ryan, hold on a second. I just had another $1 billion idea.
Okay.
Why? Okay, yesterday we talked about, or it's been about, I guess, 5 weeks ago, we were on a podcast talking about, getting into business. And if you're going to diversify, you want to do something that's kind of what I call a hand in glove type relationship there. Why doesn't the PGA sponsor this podcast? As many golfers as and they could have like a PGA tour guy come on and do a podcast once a quarter, and we could promote like their latest, whatever they've got going on. I don't understand that. And the PGA has a lot of money.
I know they do.
Man, that dude was 6th and made $800,000. That is crazy. Hey, if you're in the marketing department at the PGA, hit Bradley and I up. We want you to sponsor the Insurance Guys podcast because I'm guessing, Bradley, what's the percentage of independent and captive agents that play golf?
It's got to be 80%.
I bet you at the Masters, I bet you 30% of the crowd are insurance agents.
It has to be.
That is crazy why we've never thought of that before. Anyway, Ryan.
Hit us up, guys.
Ryan, I want to talk. We got a lot to talk about today. I've already gone on one of my diatribes about your product, and on my son's life, tomorrow, well, I've got to be on a plane most of the day tomorrow. By Friday, you and I are going to be doing business together. Okay? I don't care what we have to do. I don't care what we have to do. The bane of my existence for the past 3 years, our agency probably writes, of the total premium we have on the books, 50% of it is not necessarily agency billed, okay? But 50% of it is either agency billed, meaning excess and surplus written through a wholesale broker. And as all three of us sitting here know, agency billed stuff doesn't download. It doesn't download into HawkSoft.
Well, not even that. You've got the InsurTech carriers. None of them download.
That's where I was about to go with this. And then on the flip side of that, all these InsurTech carriers don't download, plus other carriers that are more regional in nature or whatever don't download. So I've got this abundance of spreads because the way all these wholesale brokers work, and even the carriers that Bradley just mentioned, they are still doing the old school. You send them an email to the marketing or territory manager, and they will, hey, would you mind sending me an updated carrier report of all of our active policies? And here comes the old school Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet with all of your policies expired, canceled, active on the spreadsheet.
It takes them 2 weeks to send it to you.
Some do. Yep, that's right. And so I've got no less than 7 or 8 spreadsheets, some of which have $2-3 million of premium on them, that I need to have scrubbed into our AMS, which is HawkSoft 6. Shout out to HawkSoft. And I believe your product is going to be the thing that changes my life, Ryan, and makes me a happy person instead of an unhappy person every day. And I just want to thank you for that and say that
no pressure.
I will dance at your next wedding if you have one. I will send you a dozen. If this works, I swear to God, email Bradley if this works, I want you to email Bradley with a picture of the dozen red roses that I send to you with a personalized note from Scott Howell.
This might be the first company to be hard launched on the Insurance Guys podcast with that sort of emphasis behind
I'm
it.
telling you right now, if he can do what I think he can do, which is get my shit right and hawk soft for my agency build stuff. But Scott, why isn't it right already? Why don't your employees do it right? Okay, Mr. Perfect out there listening to this,
right.
I know your AMS is perfect and every piece of information in it is just exactly 100% right and mine's not. I get it. You're perfect. You're smart. You're handsome. I'm not. I get all that, but mine's screwed up.
Well, it's one of
I
those,
need my shit fixed.
It's one of those things too. The reason I love what you're doing, Ryan, and he hasn't even gotten into it.
I'm sorry, I went off on a diatribe.
I've often said that. No, I think that was great. I've often said that manual and multiple entry could be the death of the independent agent.
100%.
You know, when I can call a State Farm office or a farmer's office or an Allstate office, and they don't even have to enter my information in their system. Like
their phone number
is in there, and they write the policy and it shows up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, best case scenario, I have to wait 24 hours, and only 50% of my carriers go in there, and God forbid something doesn't go in there it's supposed to. You know, and that's anyone who is solving for that. I'm 100% behind. So take us through. You know, give us do your DeLorean thing.
Get in my DeLorean, go back in time a few years, talk about how you got into this and how you developed Conduit from the other experiences you've had, and just bring us up to today.
That sounds great. And Scott, I will take you up on the roses. I will offer one better. I would love to. Next time I'm on this podcast, I'll fly down there and we'll make the Scott Howell plaque, Scott Howell Award. If I'm the first receiver of that,
thank you.
I would be honored. So I'm looking forward to that day. Hopefully, pretty soon.
Me too.
But
Me too.
you know, Scott, your problem, your problem that you described is not unique to your agency.
And by the way, guys, I went on a 5-minute tirade before the podcast ever started about this. So you got to miss out on the 5 minutes before the podcast where I was screaming and yelling about this and MFing. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's a major issue. I worked. You gave a little bit of my background, but I grew up in my father's insurance agency out on Long Island. He is heavy E&S. You know, probably 70-80% E&S with wholesalers, and it makes everything that much harder. And those just historically don't download naturally. It's never really been in consideration there. So I saw this problem for a really long time. I worked for him. I got into some software development on my own, was doing some consulting, ended up at Rethought Insurance, where I was a full-time software developer. I learned a lot about, the ins and outs of insurance software development on the MGA side, Derek Flood MGA. And from that moved on to the machine learning side of things with a company called Arturo. There, I learned a lot about how to automate a lot of processes, right? AI sort of caught that wave there. And that all brought it to here. So I brought up, but I'll say it again, Scott, you're not unique in this issue. This is a major problem. Everything from commissions to actually, actual policies themselves, they just won't get in there. And that is a major issue that it makes it harder to do anything.
Amen. Keep preaching.
When it's not in there, it's hard. You can go and sign up for another software, another platform, but if your data is not correct in the AMS and not complete, it's only going to help you so much if it's not in there to begin with. So that's exactly what we do, Scott. And a part that you mentioned, so we could take these commission statements, these commission Excel sheets, PDFs, we take the information out, we automatically allow you to check against what's in your agency management system to make sure it's correct. And then when you are done with that, we download it right into your agency management system, our platform. So it takes a manual entry process to a really quick and smooth way to reconcile commissions. And on the policy side, we do the same thing. So you'll drag and drop an E&S policy. We will extract all the information out. We will make sure that you're happy with it, and we will get that right into your agency management system. A 15-minute 15, 20-minute process goes down to 2 to 3 minutes.
And if you were here right now, I would kiss you on the lips. And I would let Bradley record it.
Okay. Moving forward.
If you can really do this, I've had I've had 5 or 6 people tell me they can do this. Oh, yeah, Scott, this is just going to be the easiest thing. Okay, we'll see.
And it's AMS agnostic. Right?
Well, you're already using
Correct.
the system, right?
Correct.
And I mean, as a user, I mean, are we good?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, and there's really like, let me ask you, like, kind of throw you a softball here. There's really like 2 sides of the business, right? You have the upload feature where if I'm an agent and I want a policy to download, I drag and drop it and it downloads into the system or uploads into the system, right? You know, some people may, because you have a lot of people that are so entrenched in the insurance industry and have never, there's a lot of independent agents that have never worked at anything but an independent agency, and they just think that manual entry is the way that it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, and they may say, well, I don't want to have to drag and drop. I would just rather have Brenda, my bookkeeper, or Brenda, my CSR, upload or excuse me, manually enter thing. But like, to me, anything that eliminates me having to pay an employee to sit there and manually enter that data, if I can just drag and drop, just like I'm uploading a file into my AMS, right?
Which, by the way, you know, employees are humans. We're
Right,
we're
that
fallible,
you
so they're going to
introduce
make
human error.
mistakes.
Right.
You know,
The other side of that is you guys work directly with carriers too, and I know you're ramping that up. But if there's a carrier that wants to connect with you and have their policies download, you do that as well too, correct?
That's right. And there's 2 ways to get the anything you need to into the system. So, you know, when we launch this, so many agents fit in their email all day long. So you can actually forward an email with the attachment that you want to go into the system for us to parse, forward it that way, or you can drag and drop it. But you brought up a really good point, Bradley. The idea of wholesalers downloading or MGAs, right? These insurtech carriers that haven't gotten there yet, downloading it's difficult. It's hard to get started. You know, it takes tech work. With us, we take that tech work away. So by getting the data directly from the documents themselves, once we have created that download, essentially, they can then share it with any party in this ecosystem, right? So if the MGA did it on their end, they can send it to the wholesaler, who can send it to the agent. So just has to happen in one place for it to go across
Premium
the
finance
organization.
company.
Yep.
Right. Premium finance companies. Yeah. Anybody who wants to turn something into something ingestible by any agency management system.
Gotcha.
All the way from the carrier level all the way down to the agent level, if the agent wanted to do it. And I would imagine if you have agents who are doing it, you know, doing the upload feature, eventually you're going to have enough data where you can go to a carrier and be like, hey, you had 10,000 policies through here. Why don't you take this off of your agents and just download it directly, right? The other thing that I was going to point out, so what we do at Portal is we try to have, when the carriers send us emails, we try to have those emails automatically go where they are supposed to go, so a human does not have to manually forward those emails. Again, introducing human error. If I get an email and I forget to forward it, so there's really 2 ways that we do that at Portal. So let's use an accounting example, right? So I have an email that's accounting at Portal Insurance, and that all the like commission statements and all that go to that email. So with a lot of carriers, I can actually tell them, hey, anytime you send me a email with a commission statement or anything to do with accounting, include this email on there. With most carriers, they can do that, right? So it just automatically goes there. I don't have to do anything. The other thing you can do, so let's say from an underwriting standpoint, right? I can say, so let's use like Swift, for example, right? So Swift traditionally sends all of their underwriting emails to me. I can go into my email platform and create a filter that says anytime there's an email from this email address, because a lot of times, depending on what the carrier is sending you, it's coming from a unique email address. They're essentially doing the same thing we're doing and say anytime there's an email from this email address, that contains this kind of data, automatically forward it to this email so I don't have to touch it. So you could actually do the same thing with this. We have our unique email where the upload goes to, and we can basically say anything with policy data coming from this carrier, automatically send it there. So it's downloaded, like we don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like there's ways that you can systematize things so that they go where they're supposed to go without you having to sit there and forward an email.
That's exactly right. Yeah, when you sign up, you will get an email address that you can ask the carriers to CC for all of your important documents. They'll all go right in here. We'll start the process, parse them, and get them ready for a CSR or an accountant to look it over. So it takes the 80%, 90% of the work that they would be doing when they get this document and start to look at it and start to process it and go into the AMS and search for the insured and all these things. That's all done. That's all done automatically.
Yeah.
So by the time they touch this, by the time they get to what was sent to them, 90% of the work should be done. They're going to check it over. And to Scott, your point about getting the right stuff and complete stuff into the AMS, that's the point, right? We can help with that. That's what we do. We take everything that we can off these documents, put it out in a really nice format for them to look it over and send it off.
Well, let's think about it like this. So our agency, and this is just me estimating, I'm going to estimate that we have 3,000 policies that do not download. Okay. All right. Let's pretend that it takes about 5 minutes for somebody to enter that data into the AMS. Right. So that's 15,000 minutes. Okay. Divided by 60 is 250 hours.
Yeah.
That my team is spending a year. And that's assuming they only have to enter one thing.
Right.
It's never just one thing.
Sure.
Right. It's endorsements, updates, cancellation. It's all that stuff. Right. So let's pretend that each policy has 2 things.
And you're being conservative,
I'm
by the
being
way.
very conservative. Let's pretend each policy has 2 things that we have to update manually in the AMS. Some have way more. Some probably only have 2, right? But 2 is like the minimum, right? So that's 500 hours. All right. Let's pretend.
How many days is that?
That's a lot. Let's pretend
40-hour
that
week.
I'm paying the person who enters that data $15 an hour. It's probably a little more in some cases. It's probably a little less in some cases because we have VAs and stuff. So times $15 an hour, that's costing me $7,500 a year in payroll, which is not actually the bad thing. The bad thing is the opportunity cost. And the worst thing is, what if you have something that needs to be entered and nobody enters it?
That's a good point. I mean, and that's conservative. The 5 minutes is really conservative. If you wanted, let's say you wanted forms and form addition dates and form numbers and all of these extra coverage limits that we get, that a CSR might, they might not need that or think that they need that in there. We get that out and we let them check it over. So not only is it quicker, but it's more complete.
Sure.
In its entirety.
Yeah. And another thing I think that's important for us to focus on, and you and I had this conversation with the data you got from Bill Jacka, president of the Big I Alabama.
Did you ever have a chance to look at that?
I've glanced at it, yeah. The industry's going ENS. Like that, we are steamrolling. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, guys. I apologize, but
that's okay.
We are steamrolling towards the predominant risk in this industry are all written ENS. And if they're not written ENS, InsurTech is taking over. None of the InsurTech carriers connect directly to AMS, or not many of them do. And if you're in a part of the country like a Tennessee or a Nebraska, which Nebraska may have a lot of ENS, Ohio, where it's all, standard, blue blood, Travelers Progressive Safeco, that's not going to be that way in 5 years. You're going to slowly start seeing more and more ENS policies being written, and this is going to become more of an issue. So you might be listening to this podcast thinking this isn't relevant to me, but you need to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I've said forever, I hate lemonade, right? But I'm still paying attention to what lemonade's doing, right? Just because you disagree with something or think something does not affect you doesn't mean you sit there with your fingers in your ears and don't pay attention. You at least need to be dangerous in it. So if you're listening to this and you don't think it's relevant, I still would try to learn as much about the ENS and the non-download side of the industry so that you can be prepared when that happens, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down.
By the way, Ryan, just pinning that for just a second. I noticed you didn't let me bait you into my comment or repost on Lemonade's latest earnings report on Twitter when I said, I can't wait to hear Bradley Flowers' take on this. And you never responded to that, did you?
So I deleted Twitter off my phone. That's why
it's taking too much.
That's why, yeah.
It was kind of getting.
Twitter's my favorite social media platform.
Yeah, you said that before.
It would be the one, but I was just getting.
In the weeds.
I go through different moods, right?
Your kids over there burning the house down, and you're on Twitter.
I go through different phases throughout the year where I'll go several months where I'll see stuff that I disagree with, and I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that. And then I'll go through phases where I have to like prove everybody wrong or give my 2 cents. And I was in this like weird space where like I was just on Twitter all the time and like arguing with people. And, you know, Twitter can be kind of toxic. And so just to limit some of the time so I'm basically only getting on Twitter on my computer. So I haven't been quite as active on there recently, but I did see that. And to be honest, I was just like, I don't feel like dealing with those guys today. I am pretty sure, I think I'm about to short Lemonade stock. That's not investment advice, but I don't know that there's another stock that is inflated as high as that one is inflated right now.
Hey, by the way,
and I'm not talking like a big short. I'm talking like a couple $1,000.
You know, as much time as you spend, and when I say you, I'm just mean people in general, on any social media platform that's kind of like the platform you look at, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, boy, it sure takes you about 3 seconds to delete that shit off your phone, doesn't it? Yeah. It's almost amazing. Like I've been spending 4 hours a day on this platform, and then I go to delete it off my phone, and it took me like 6 seconds to delete it off my phone, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else that I did, and this has nothing to do with Ryan's company, but so Instagram actually has a feature now where you can reset your algorithm. So you can reset your algorithm as if you are a brand new account.
I'll be dang.
And it is so freaking refreshing.
You see just totally different stuff then, don't you?
And you're completely responsible for your algorithm, right? But it's like, you know, buddies will send you stuff and like, and it's, but I reset it and it's just like so great because now what happens when I get on Instagram, I don't get tied in because I'm actually not interested in the stuff that's on there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it's trying to pick up what you look at to start it over again.
Yeah, but man, you know, Twitter just gotten, you know, with all the like political stuff going on and Doge and Elon and Trump and, you know, the stock market's not doing great right now. It's just, it had gotten really like just, whew. And then to add on to that, all the California wildfire stuff and everybody freaking hates insurance right now. And it's just like, you know, so I just had to delete it off my phone. So,
hey, Ryan, I know we've got to go here in just a minute, but before we do, a couple things I want to mention. Number one, Conduit is the name of your particular business that we've been talking about today, right? And it's it's parsing data. Is there a website for these independent, and if they need it, well, in fact, they probably more than independents, captive agents are writing a lot of. If you're a farmer's agent, I guarantee you're writing a bunch of damn exit. You probably got a whole nother side of your business. Alpha agents, state farm bureau agents. I don't know about State Farm. I don't know if they jumped on the ENS train yet or not. I don't know. But how would an agent, if they just want to go see more about what we've already talked about today and maybe watch, learn more about it or watch a video of what it does, where would they go, Ryan?
Yeah, they could go to conduituploads.com. They
Okay.
can follow Conduit Uploads or myself on LinkedIn, also on Twitter, Ryan_Hughes_INS. We're posting videos all the time, customer success stories. They can see video of actually how Portal Insurance is using this for some of the commission
Kenneth
statements.
gave you a nice little shout out on LinkedIn yesterday.
And
Yeah.
do you mind if I hand out your email address? Just
Not at all.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's your email is Ryan, RYAN at Parsure, and that's spelled PARSURE.co. So it's Ryan at Parsure.co. And you can also go to www.conduit/insurance guys podcast if you want to sign up. And I'm joking, by the way. I think I'm joking. I don't know.
Hey, we can make it work, Scott.
Okay. But I will say that I am humbled to have you on the show today. You have made me the happiest person on earth. I'm happier right now than when my son was born and when I got married combined. Those two combined, I'm happier than that right now because I cannot tell you, as I said earlier, the bane of my existence is all of these policies my agency writes. And I'm looking at our AMS system and I'm like, I bet you a third of this shit isn't even right. Because you write a damn, well, hell, you write an ENS policy, agency bill policy. First of all, the damn policy number is about 17 digits and letters long. So, boy, there's no chance nobody screwed that up.
You know, you have
and
your
then
quote
they change
number, then your policy number, and then it renews
002 instead of 001.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm looking at my agency management system, and I think we're probably C+. We're probably C+ on data. And the only way I know to get it to an A is to have something like this that can scrub against
I'm going to be
what
honest
we do
with you,
have.
I don't think there's any agency that is at an A in data integrity.
Me neither.
I don't think there's any.
Oh, there's somebody out there right now. It's like, we're an A. We are an A.
I would put us up against anybody, and I feel like we are B+, A- at best.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, now the agency that is in middle America that only writes with about 6 carriers that are all blue blood, that all download, that's a different story. But I would still even argue to some degree those guys are not, because not every carrier downloads every single thing.
Sure.
You know, but it's very, 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 very hard, especially if you are smaller, because to me, this kind of stuff affects you more when you're a smaller agency, you know, less than 500K in revenue or less than $1 million in revenue, because you're spending so much time. I mean, your producer, CSR, bottle washer, fry cook, right?
Right.
The bigger agencies have the room and the budget to have somebody who basically is over data integrity, right? But the smaller agencies, to me, could benefit more from having everything just upload into their system rather than the bigger ones.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, we hope that you know, these small agencies, they will feel this immediately.
Yeah.
They should with
Yeah.
this sort of workflow change.
I mean, you want to scale your agency, like you get rid of the mundane, non-revenue producing tasks. Like that's what you do. That's what you do.
Ryan Patrick Hughes, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm going to shut this thing down. Guys, I know all of your data and your AMS systems is perfect. But for the 3 agents out there whose data is not perfect, because I know the rest of y'all are perfect, you need to get in touch with Ryan Patrick Hughes, and you need to figure this thing out. And Bradley, please don't release this podcast until all my stuff gets figured out, please.
Okay.
Because when this podcast comes out, there's going to be 485 agents on the exact same day. You got to try to get in touch with them. So give me just a few 3 weeks, 2, 3,
like a month and a half from now.
Oh, please, yes, because I got to get my shit
Unless you need us
straight.
to move it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ryan, you
we'll get you taken care of, Scott.
All right, man. Well, listen, guys, as I end every episode, rewards come from action, not discussion. Get your ass out from behind that desk today. Go out into the big bad world and make money for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your kids' college fund, for your parents and your in-laws that are struggling out there. Go make money for them. And as I say about every single technology that we have on this podcast, I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm just telling you to look at it and try it. And if it works for your agency, great. And if it doesn't work for your agency, great. But just try it. Give it a shot. See if it puts you one step closer to getting to that goal line and living the life that Bradley, myself, and Ryan want you to live, and get happy rather than upset and pissed off that half the stuff in your AMS system's wrong. So, with that being said, just go give it a look. See if it's for you. Bradley Flowers, I love you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan, we love you too, brother. I'll be in touch. I've got to travel tomorrow. It'll either be Friday or Monday, but I'll be getting in touch with you real soon, okay?
Hey,
Sounds good.
question.
Thank
What are
you,
you
guys.
talking about to the Big I, Missouri?
Yeah.
Do you not know yet?
No, I've got two. Oh, no, are you kidding me? We've had to submit for.
You got to submit for
Oh,
CE?
yeah. No, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I gave them a list of like 12 topics that they could choose from that I wanted to talk about. And I think 10 of them I would have been really excited to talk about. And they chose the two I did in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I got to do this again. So the two topics are slamming the back door shut, which we've started doing a better job of. And then the other one is, hard market or hard opportunity kind of thing. But
Guys, if you're in a state association listening to this and want to book Scott Howell to speak at your event, all you need is a pack of crackers and a Snickers.
I've
And,
changed it. It's 2 bags of Skittles
Okay.
and 3 Snickers bars. By the way, he's joking. He's joking because I only do one of these a year. And this year, Missouri contacted me in like September of 24. So if you want me, my one speaking tour in 2026, you better jump on the bandwagon now because I only do one a year. I'm not doing more than one. It is, and I don't want to get into all that, but
Oh, yeah.
you used to, it's probably the happiest day of your life when you stop doing it because it is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, you were listening to the Insurance Guys podcast, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our family. And we'll see you back here real soon. Take care.